Basketball fan who's been following the Indiana Fever this season, you've probably heard the name Sophie Cunningham. But here's something you might not know. She's been fined 3 times by the WNBA in just a few months, and the total keeps climbing. We're talking about real money here. $500, then $1,500, then another fine that the league won't even disclose. And here's the remarkable part. She keeps doing exactly what got her in trouble in the first place. The question isn't whether she'll get fined again, it's why she's willing to keep paying the price to say what other players are apparently thinking but won't say out loud. For those of you who might not be familiar with Sophie Cunningham, she's a 28-year-old guard who joined the Indiana Fever this past season in a trade from the Phoenix Mercury. She's in her 7th year in the league, and up until this season, she wasn't exactly a household name. She'd built a solid career, but she wasn't generating headlines. That changed when she got to Indiana. Playing alongside Caitlin Clark brought unprecedented attention, and Cunningham found herself in situations that showcased her personality. The turning point came on June 17th during a game against the Connecticut Sun. Throughout that game, there had been physical play involving Clark, including an incident where Sun guard Jacy Sheldon made contact with Clark's eye.
I'm officially 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA.
Holy sh! For this? For the pod? Again?
They didn't like my comments on Paige Bueckers.
No way!
I didn't even say anything bad.
On the quick whistle?
Yeah.
Late in the game, with Indiana ahead, Cunningham took a hard foul on Sheldon that led to a scuffle. She was ejected and fined $400. But fans saw her as standing up for her teammate. Within 24 hours, her jersey sold out. Her social media following exploded from 200,000 followers to over 1 million practically overnight. Suddenly, Sophie Cunningham was Caitlin Clark's enforcer, and fans loved it. In late July, she launched a podcast called Show Me Something with her high school friend West Wilson, a reality television personality. The podcast was supposed to cover WNBA talk, pop culture, and friendship. What nobody anticipated was that it would become a running battle between Cunningham and the league office over one topic: officiating. The first incident happened before the podcast even launched.
A lot of our staff wanted to play the Aces instead of Atlanta, and I was like, hell no!
Like,
I was like, what are you guys
You're
talking
like,
about? I was like, even if they have one like off night, whatever, like they have won championships after championships, and you have the reigning MVP like 3 or 4 different times. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want to, like, we want Atlanta. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, we do not want Vegas.
In late July, Cunningham posted a TikTok showing her lip-syncing to Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child. The audio said, "Stupid, or is it slow? Maybe it's useless," and she pointed around with each word. The caption read, "At some refs." The WNBA fined her $500. When she announced the fine on social media, she seemed amused. "I got fined $500 for this TikTok. I don't know why this is funny to me, but okay, like there are no more important things to be worried about with our league right now." She wasn't just complaining, she was suggesting the league had bigger problems than a player making jokes. But that was just the beginning. On July 30th, the first episode of Show Me Something went live, and Cunningham didn't hold back. "If I was a ref, I know I would mess up all the time. I'm not saying your job is easy, but when it's a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? They're just so inconsistent. If you're on the other team fouling me, then let me do it to you." I think players across the league and new fans are asking, what is going on with the refs? She tried to be diplomatic, acknowledging that refereeing is difficult, but she called out what she saw as the fundamental problem: inconsistency.
And I think like the league is so mad that we won because we're literally not supposed to be here at all. And that just like kind of fuels our fire even more. But it was just like so.
The same contact that draws a foul in one situation doesn't in another. She even predicted the consequences. "You fining me $500 is not going to do anything. And then I'll get fined for that, and then I'll get fined for this, and the fines will continue." It was almost like she was daring the league. By the second episode on August 5th, Cunningham revealed the WNBA had fined her $1,500 for those comments. That's triple the first fine. The league was escalating, trying to send a message. The way she found out about it is telling. The league emails the team's general manager, who then pulls the player aside. Cunningham described it. Her GM, Amber Cox, pulled her aside in front of the team, smiled, and said, "Hey, they're going to fine you again." Cunningham was frustrated. "I even told them their job was hard. I said I would not be good at it. Look at the whole picture. What are we doing?" From her perspective, she'd tried to be balanced, and the league hit her with a fine 3 times larger.
I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, like, again, I think she's a hell of a player and, like, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. Like, you literally couldn't touch her.
After losing $2,000 in weeks, you'd think she'd keep quiet. But on August 13th, she recorded another episode after the Fever lost 81-80 at home against Dallas. Rookie Paige Bueckers had a strong game, and Cunningham felt she was getting favorable treatment from the referees. I love Paige to death, don't get me wrong. I think she's a hell of a player and would love to play with her one day, but those refs were giving her every whistle last night. You literally couldn't touch her. That's so annoying. And if you're going to do that, then give it to our guards. Notice what she didn't say. She didn't attack Bueckers personally. She praised her as a player. Her complaint was entirely about the officials and inconsistent standards. By August 20th, she revealed fine number 3.
Like, our first week, what people had to say, well, the WNBA fined me. They fined me $1,500.
I'm officially 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA. They didn't like my comment on Paige Bueckers. I didn't even say anything bad. The amount wasn't disclosed, but we're talking at least $2,000 total, possibly more. What makes this interesting is that Cunningham isn't alone. Her coach, Stephanie White, was also fined after criticizing referees following that Dallas game. White said there was a double standard, and that center Aaliyah Boston was the worst officiated post player in the league. This wasn't just one player complaining, it was a systemic concern the coaching staff shared. And Cunningham's critiques weren't vicious. She acknowledged refereeing is difficult. She praised players she felt got favorable calls. She called out inconsistency, the sense that identical contact gets called differently depending on the player or situation. Let's put the financial impact in perspective. Cunningham's Indiana salary was $100,000. A $1,500 fine represents 1.5% of her season salary.
But when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
What call are you like bugged out?
All
at
of
the
them.
most?
I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was like, you're kidding.
For someone making $50,000 a year, that's like a $750 fine. It stings, but Cunningham has other income. Her podcast deal with The Volume presumably pays something. Her social media following opened sponsorship opportunities. Her jersey sales spiked. Still, nobody likes writing checks to their employer for saying what they believe. When she appeared on The Young Man and the Three podcast in August, she said something revealing. I promise you, everyone in our league feels that way, and I'm just kind of the only one who says something. She sees herself as saying what her fellow players think, but won't risk saying. There's also Cunningham's personality on the podcast. She's funny, irreverent, doesn't take herself too seriously. She joked about starting a GoFundMe for the fines and actually created one, making clear it was mostly a joke. The description said, "This is more of a joke than anything. For fines only, or to charity, or for a yacht, I don't know." The fact she can joke about it suggests she's not intimidated and won't change her approach. Months later, looking back on the Sheldon incident that started everything, Cunningham expressed surprise she was never suspended. "No, I'm surprised too," she said when asked if she'd ever been suspended in her career. She clarified she didn't beat up Sheldon like some suggested, but acknowledged it was probably the most physical altercation the league had seen in years. The WNBA gave her a $400 fine but no suspension, which seemed lenient given the circumstances. What does this mean for the WNBA? The increased attention this season has put pressure on every aspect of the league, including officiating. When games drew smaller crowds, questionable calls might go unnoticed, but with record viewership and millions of new fans, every controversial call gets scrutinized on social media.
Couldn't touch her, and that's so annoying to me. Like, and if you're gonna do that, then give it to our guards. Like, I just hate the inconsistencies. Or we know she's a good rookie and like she's gonna get some whistles, but like to get the treatment she got last night was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Video clips get shared thousands of times. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert addressed officiating concerns at the All-Star Game in July, saying the league reviews every play and spends hours and hours following up with officials. But that hasn't satisfied players like Cunningham dealing with inconsistencies night after night. There's a difference between knowing the league reviews plays afterward and feeling like you're getting a fair shake in real time. There's a larger question about player freedom to criticize officiating. Most leagues have rules against it and issue fines. The NBA famously fines coaches and players who complain. But there's a balance. You don't want every player complaining about every call, which would undermine officials. But when multiple people express the same concerns repeatedly, maybe there's something worth examining. For Cunningham personally, the fines might be worth it career-wise. Her podcast gave her a platform and grew her following. She's become one of the league's most recognizable players, not just for her play, but for her personality and willingness to speak her mind. That has value beyond her playing career. When she retires, she'll have built a media presence that could lead to broadcasting, podcasting, or other sports media opportunities. The timing is also significant. The WNBA is in the middle of collective bargaining negotiations, and officiating is one of many issues players want addressed. Cunningham's public criticism, while costing her personally, keeps the conversation front and center. It puts pressure on the league to take these concerns seriously rather than dismissing them as isolated complaints. Sophie Cunningham's battle with the WNBA over officiating criticism shows no signs of ending. She's made clear she's willing to pay the price, literally, to speak her mind. Whether you think she's brave or reckless depends on your perspective. Some see her as a needed voice calling out real problems. Others might think she's being unprofessional at a time when the league is trying to grow. But she started a conversation that many in and around the WNBA seem eager to have. What do you think? Should players be able to criticize officiating more freely, or are the fines justified? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of this season's most interesting storylines, hit that subscribe button for more WNBA coverage.